Hello friends, welcome to Weathercast. In this video, I am going to talk about the heavy rains which are expected over the west coast between July 2nd and 6th. So basically starting tomorrow, the entire west coast is expected to get some heavy rains. It will happen on different days. For example, Goa will get heavy rains on let's say July 2nd and 3rd. Bombay will get it on 3rd, 4th, so on and so forth. So the dates of heavy rains will differ, but in general, the outlook is that heavy rains are expected over west coast. So this is the just a synopsis. A cyclonic circulation is seen developing near Bay of Bengal, which is also straddling over the land. And this particular circulation is going to activate an offshore trough in the Arabian Sea. And as we all know, an offshore trough will basically bring in a surge of westerly moisture flux. And when this westerly moist air interacts with the Western Ghats, then the windward side of Western Ghats gets good amount of rain. So based on this, the west coast is under a heavy to very heavy rain alert, and that includes northern Kerala, coastal Karnataka, Goa, Ratnagiri, Mumbai, and also Palghar, and slightly interior like Thane and southwest Maharashtra places like Radhanagiri in Kolhapur district. Those kind of places may experience some heavy to very heavy rain. So these rains are likely to cause some inconvenience. There could be some waterlogging, and possibility of some local flooding is also it cannot be ruled out. IMD has also put out some alerts, so I urge you all to follow those alerts because there is a good consensus in all the models that heavy to very heavy rain is expected for this week. So let's look into dynamics. So the basic reason is the monsoon currents. If you see the first picture, the monsoon currents or the meso, the oscillations are moving northward and they are getting kind of activated. So so this is moving up to 15 July where this is weakening. But this week, if you see the meso, then it is kind of strongest. If you see this again, and the date is here, so 30th, 1st July. See, 1st, 2nd July, 3rd July, it is very active over the entire west coast. So that is going to bring in some good amount. So the monsoon currents are active. That means it is directly correlated to some heavy rains. And the IMD GFS model anomalies are also showing. So this was between 25th to 1st July, where red is negative anomaly. That means lower rains. But this week, 2nd to 8th July, you can see that the anomaly is positive, which means excess rainfall is expected. Normal or excess rainfall is expected. So this is again indicative of some heavy rains in the upcoming days. If you look at the windy chart, little bit more detailed dynamics, then you can see an offshore trough which is forming, which is basically because of the cyclonic circulation that has developed. So the winds are dipping, and as they dip, they will form cloud bands, and because of the strong westerly winds, these cloud bands will move into the windward side of the Ghat section, which is our entire west coast of India. This is again the IMD GFS model output, and you can see that there is some heavy rainfall expected. This is I'm only showing 5th of July, but this entire week, starting from 2nd to 6th or 7th of July, heavy rains have been predicted. All right. So just to summarize, West Coast is expected to get some heavy rain due to cyclonic circulation and surge in the westerly moisture flux. One of these days, which is anywhere between July 3rd to 6th, 200 mm type rains in a 24-hour period is likely in some places along the west coast, and those places are likely to be Goa, Mangalore, Mumbai, Ratnagiri, and maybe some other places as well. But this is the hotspots for getting some very heavy rains. It's very hard to say which date we will get these heavy rains, because the exact moisture convergence location matters, and it's very hard to predict that. But we will have to look at the nowcast, where the cloud bands will be moving in. The radar will help in telling us some. It will help us in giving us a good idea of when these rains are expected. So the forecast is that the this week is looking likely to be some heavy to very heavy rains are expected. But we also need to have nowcast, wherein within an hour or two we can know when these cloud bands are pushing in and what kind of rain events are going to occur on a much smaller time scale. All right. So this is what I wanted to cover in this video. Please, if you want, you can follow the nowcast, which will be put up as and when the system develops and some cloud bands keep coming towards the west coast. Especially Mumbai is has not gotten some good rains. June was deficit, but this particular system may revive the rains, and we are expecting that some typical heavy Mumbai rains are on the charts for this week. So starting tomorrow evening, Mumbai rains are expected to pick up gradually, and then third evening to fourth is when some heavy rains are expected. Okay, so that's when the nowcast will be given, and you can follow the nowcast on my Twitter ID. All right, I hope this video was useful, and I will be back with more updates. And up till then, goodbye.